Hi, welcome to week 6 lecture. This week I want to talk about um, training evaluation, and on page 149 of the text there's I think 2 or 3 pages on training evaluation, but I want to cover this in more detail and give you the most common method used. Assessing behavioral changes that occur after training certainly can be a challenge, and the problem is companies often they lack both time and resources to do that. A common model that's used is called Kirkpatrick's 4-level evaluation model, and it's named after the author. This is the 4 different levels, and I'll go through them in detail, but you can see reaction, learning, behavior, and results, with the more simple evaluations being at the bottom here. Kirkpatrick first described this model as part of his doctoral dissertation in 1952, and then he presented it formally in a publication in a series of articles in 1959, and then later published a book. This is an example of the book that's out now. This, you can see, it's 3rd edition. So if you have an interest in this, I'd recommend you pick the book up. If we start to look at this, at these different levels, level 1 is called reaction. It's the simplest to do, it's the least costly. It's the typical evaluation form that's handed out at the end of the training. It's also, I might say, the least effective of the 4 levels. It's a participant reaction. It can be qualitative, where you simply ask participants what they think, and they literally write out sentences, and then in interpretation, themes are gathered and reported out. It can also be quantitative and use a Likert scale. For example, would be a question like that would say, this training was effective. To what degree did you agree with that? Do you have strongly agree, don't know, disagree, or strongly disagree? And that's how it's made to be quantitative. The level 2 measures learning or knowledge. This is also pretty common. It's what we typically refer to as pre-post tests. So before you do the training, you take a test. Take the test again at the end of the training, and the difference in the scores shows that learning or knowledge took place. It's inexpensive. It's easy to do. The disadvantage is that it's immediate. Doesn't measure long-term retention. Level 3 behavior transfers, getting a little more sophisticated. Attempts to measure transfer. In other words, did the participants actually apply what they learned on the job? Typically it involves someone going out and interviewing supervisors and co-workers and asking them if they observed the training participant using these behaviors. Sometimes it can also be done through a simulation with the training participants. Level 4 is the most sophisticated of the training levels, and it attempts to measure the impact on the organization, or what results were created, and also how the organization profited. Some models split return on investment out as a level 5, but Kirkpatrick's model just includes it as level 4. Evaluation certainly would depend upon baseline performance data that needs to be established, and so there'll be different measures taken over time so that they can be compared back to the baseline data. Once performance improvement can be demonstrated, then it's pretty easy to calculate return on investment, because you know the cost of the training, and the performance improvement data can then be used to calculate the return on the investment. Determining the type of evaluation that needs to be done often depends upon the organization's needs and budget. For example, the organization may do the more expensive evaluations on courses that are expensive, or if you have a course up for consideration where you're trying to decide should we continue this course or not, will you run a level 3 or level 4 evaluation to see what's going on. Rigor in research methods certainly is encouraged, and industrial organizational psychologists certainly use rigorous research methods. They would also advocate for the higher levels of evaluation and using database decision making. These were the references that I used in this particular lecture, and you'll see these are posted as part of the transcript. Thank you.